Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one is on how to beat the deep dungeon. I forget the name of it. Now this is after the patch, because we did get a patch which did fix some of the things regarding it. However, they did make it possible that you can strictly just head for the bosses just like before. I was really concerned that they had absolutely ruined this dungeon, but they didn't. It is still a challenge and there's still strategy involved, so it still works. If we had to kill every single enemy in this dungeon, it would be like over 20 minutes. So I'm glad that there is a way around. But in this video, I'll be showcasing that. So if you guys enjoy this one, do me a favor and tap that like button, smash subscribe, hit the notification if you don't want to miss any of my content. So when you get to this location, you can go left or right. I prefer going left and getting the 4 big guys over with first. And then when you're here, basically just kind of don't run right down the middle, kind of stick to the side. But when I get to this location, I switch over here. Just before I get to those 3 guys, I switch over here and I run the wall. I run along the wall. I find that this reduces some of the aggro. Now, if you are running a samurai, you can simply jump. See, look at those aggros over there that are gone already. But if you go over here, you can jump right across. And this will also reduce the amount of enemies. There we go. I am now out of combat. So if your entire party comes up here, you will lose the aggro of the enemies. Now, if you happen to not be using a samurai class, don't worry, because there's another method. So when you're the samurai, you'd be heading up here and then jumping across this gap over there. Or you could even jump over to those bones. But when you're not using that, you can't do that. Instead, you come up here, scale up this side, and then jump over to this bone and this rib cage, and then come up here, and then you can jump right across here. And this will be, as long as you're up against this wall right here. I'm not exactly sure where it loses the aggro, but it's somewhere around here. Also, if you for some reason don't lose the aggro, you can jump down on this side right over here. Just drop down right here. That should also make you lose the aggro, or help lose the aggro, and at that point you can then take down the boss. If you're fighting this boss and you're finding it hard to find the locations, like where they're pinging, the red stuff right here, you can actually just stay on this green, which will be easier to indicate where they are hitting you. So if you are struggling to see it under the water or something, then stay on this little green thing or as close to it as you can. That might help. Then when you're heading back to the next boss, you're going to be heading back basically the same way you come, but I usually stick to the left side. I mean, not in this particular area, but once you get up a little ahead. And it doesn't really matter if you attract anything, because over here is a safety net just on the other side. And there we go. Lost the aggro of those things. So we do have these ones, which unfortunately there's really no way of not getting that one on you. Okay, well, that was my bad. And there we go. Up here, once you're high enough, then you might be able... Now, this is a hit or miss, but if you don't have a ton of them on you, then once you get up here, you're going to be losing the aggro of the rest of them. Another location that you can get, if you can't get the aggro over there, just head over to this spot, and up on the very top, right up here, you can also lose aggro up there. Now, are there ways to cheese the boss and make it easy? Yeah, there probably is ways to make this an easier fight, but you can solo this on the ground without having to run around. So as long as you're evading these attacks and stuff, you don't need a way to cheese this, as long as your party is just pummeling him as best they can. One thing to do is to have the person who's drawn the aggro keep the main aggro away from the party. So everybody else would be behind the Clogra, and then the tank would be the person in the middle. I didn't make it. Luckily, with a high dodge, I should have switched my cross skill as well. Once you're done that, you head into the main boss. Now again, there might be a way to beat this without having to run around blocking all of his attacks and being cautious, but I'm able to solo this thing, so if I'm able to do this by myself, then with a group of people, it should be sufficient enough to beat it. Some of the pieces I have on are pieces of that new armor that drops from here, and some of these are best in slot, like for instance the waist, or at least one of the best in slot. You also get some pretty cool things like this, so it's definitely worth running this dungeon. Thanks for watching, we'll see you guys in the next one.